Hey guys, Eric Sargent, General Manager at Ed Martin Toyota in Noblesville, Indiana, and today we're going to show off this beautiful 2026 TRD Off-Road Tacoma. Let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. Again, it's a 2026 TRD Off-Road Tacoma. This is actually more of a basic build from the factory on the window sticker. It's a gas model. It's a TRD Off-Road model, but it doesn't have any of the upgraded packages on it. So it's got cloth seats, a smaller screen on the inside. But what makes this truck actually really special is that you can put 35-inch tires on it without having to do any kind of a spacer lift, because this came with the 6K 2.5-inch TRD lift from the factory. We're going to talk about why that's kind of important. First and foremost, obviously tire size. This right here is a Toyo Open Country. It's an RT Pro tire. An RT tire is basically in between an all-terrain and a mud terrain. Definitely a little bit more aggressive on the sidewall and the tread here, but it's still quiet enough that you can use as a daily driver without being annoyed like you would on a mud terrain. This tire is 34.8 inches in total diameter, so we'll call it a 35. It's 11.3 inches in total width. It does fit. The only thing that we modified whatsoever is the front mud flap. Both mud flaps have about an inch or so cut out so that it's not rubbing when it goes on the inside. I can't speak to anyone else doing the exact same tire size on your truck because we've used a different wheel here. This particular wheel is a genuine Toyota wheel, but what makes this wheel kind of different is it's actually a 45mm offset. So again, you can get this at your local Toyota dealer, and we'll have links to this on our parts website and the part numbers in the video description and video overlay. This wheel weighs about 27 pounds. It's 18 inches, and it's also 8 inches in total width. A couple things that would be notable besides the offset on this particular wheel: it's a flat black finish. If you can't tell from the video, it would require a separate center cap. There would be 3 center cap options that you could do with this wheel. We chose to go with the red TRD center cap because there's a couple red accent pieces on this truck in the coilovers from the TRD lift. So we're kind of matching those reds together. And then we also have some ZR Overland, ZR tactical billet aluminum front recovery hooks right here. Those recovery hooks are red, and so that's going to match in with the TRD and the coilover. So we have a little bit of red. It actually looks really, really good with the underground, with the whole blackout theme, with the window tinted and the blackout overlays, black wheels, with just a little bit of red. It really sets it off. Another thing notable on this particular wheel setup with this Tacoma is the black lug nuts. These are the 22mm lug nuts that you would get like on a Tundra or a Sequoia. So this is going to be just a slightly bigger lug nut. It's just required to make it fit in the wheel, just the sizing of this particular wheel. So that's the kind of tire and wheel setup. Again, TRD lift from the factory. It's a $3,400 option off on MSRP. It's about a $2,910 upgrade off invoice. So if you're buying off invoice, you're paying right at a little under $3,000 for this lift. One thing that's kind of a notable fact, if you're going to lease a truck like this, because right now the leases at this point in time in October 2025 in the Chicago region, these are leasing for around 75% of residual value. So you're only paying 25% of whatever the MSRP is. And since the lift is part of the MSRP, you're really only paying about $800 total for this lift. And if you think about it, that's really less than buying a spacer lift, like a high quality, like a Westcott spacer lift, and then paying a dealer to install it and then do an alignment. You're not really going to get anything cheaper than that. So this is extremely great value to a leasing customer to have the factory lift on the truck. Kind of moving on, overall aesthetic of the truck, we really didn't change much at all other than some blackout. We have the blackout emblem overlays right here on the side and also on the sombrero right here. We also, of course, have the black wheels. Black 20% window tint on the front 2 windows to match the privacy glass going into the rear. And then as we go back into the tailgate where it says Tacoma, we have the Tacoma bed emblem overlay too. So all in all, it's just blacked out. We did add these factory running boards. These are genuine Toyota accessory. The part number on that is going to be PT 938-35240. These are cool because they're plastic, so they're never really going to rust. They're going to be durable as well. And one neat thing about a little Toyota trick, if you buy a truck that does not have running boards from the factory or the port, you'll notice on the rocker panel, there's going to be a thicker layer of paint on the bottom. It's definitely noticeable. It's an orange peel. That is an extra layer of paint that they've added on for protection from the factory. Trucks that have the running boards from the factory will have the same perfectly smooth finish as the whole door does without this extra layer. So some people see this and they think it's a bad paint job. That's not at all what's happening. It's actually another layer of protection that Toyota's put on here to protect it against the trucks that don't have a running board that would kind of absorb some of the rock and sand as you drive. So this truck has the extra layer of protection here, plus it has the running boards that we added. And then of course we have the mud flaps on it too. And we were very cognizant about it, not just removing the mud flap to have the tire fit, We really wanted to preserve the mud flap because we are using an RT tire. So all we did really was just modify about an inch or so of the actual mud flap on the inside. With the 45mm offset of this particular tire, wheel, excuse me, plus the 12.3 inch wide tire, we are actually sticking past about 1.5 inches from the mud flap. So that's just one thing to kind of note. If you wanted to have an extra layer of paint protection film, you certainly could do that. But I think that we're covered with what we have here on the running board plus the paint, with the mud flap staying on the vehicle. And that's pretty much a wrap on this 2026 TRD Off-Road Tacoma. If you guys like it, please hit thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for future Tacoma content. If you have any questions whatsoever, ask in the comments. And if you are interested in ordering one for yourself, my email address and contact information is in the video notes.